Now at 8, as the majority of SoCal awaits rain, other parts of our area prepare for the first snowfall of the season. Tonight, we're on Storm Watch.
And I'm assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk. Tragedy for a family after a New Year's Day crash. I've got new information from police.
And a street takeover leads to looting in Compton, with some 100 people swiping $20,000 worth of merchandise, where residents are demanding action tonight.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
Welcome to KCAL News at 8, streaming live on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Juan Fernandez. Rain is moving towards us tonight. KCAL meteorologist Olga Ospina joining us with more now on the forecast. Olga.
Hi, Juan. Yes, and we are just hours away from rain across Southern California, getting to Ventura County first, and then all of us in the overnight hours. So I want to show you exactly where that storm is right now. We're looking still at dry conditions across Southern California, but we're looking at rain that's already impacted Northern California, making its way into the Central Coast. And for us, in just a few hours, it is going to be arriving. So here we are overnight, 2:15 a.m. We're starting to see some moderate rain, even some pockets of heavy rain through Ventura County that will continue to spread to the east. That means impacts for that Wednesday morning commute. 6 a.m. a lot of people starting to get on the roads, and we're going to see some wet weather, especially out through parts of the Inland Empire into Orange County, and we'll continue to see on and off showers. Thunderstorm activity not ruled out. That could mean some heavy downpours at time, and also this is a cold storm, so snow is a part of the picture. Snow level starting off at about 5,000 feet early in the day, and then dropping as we head into the afternoon, evening hours, which means a lot of those mountain passes could potentially see some snow as well. We'll talk a little bit more about this storm, and then another one that I'm tracking as we head into the weekend. So a lot to get to in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, sounds good, Olga. Thank you. Now to this tragedy in Arcadia after a house goes up in flames, killing several people. The fire broke out this morning in a house on Tyler Avenue. 5 people were inside, but only 2 made it out. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen with more tonight.
Deadly flames shot well above hedges that are more than 6 feet tall as firefighters tried to contain the fire that ripped through the garage of this home in Arcadia, which broke out just after 1 Tuesday morning.
I saw fire on front. It's big fire already.
Kathy Way is a neighbor who says the home is owned by a couple who are both retired.
I really know them.
She says the owners had been renting out rooms in the house as well as the structure at the back of the property. By midday, workers boarded up the property. People here at the scene say one of the 3 people who died ran upstairs to try to help the 2 others escape, but investigators have not confirmed that.
How intense were the flames and how quickly did it grow?
Pretty quick.
This neighbor who asked us not to share her identity says these burn marks show just how close the flames got to her garage. She says the fire started on the first floor and quickly spread to the second. So she started screaming to her neighbors to get out, but she got no response.
At any point did you hear like a smoke detector going off or any alarms?
No, I didn't.
At this point, the fire department isn't sure if the home had working smoke detectors.
They are a lifesaver.
Kathy Way says she sent a text message to the man who owns the home, but she hasn't gotten a response.
I'm worried about it. They don't have any to wear. If nowhere to stay, they can stay in my house. Yeah, I want to talk to them.
The names of the victims have not been released, while arson investigators from the LA County Sheriff's Department are looking into the cause. In Arcadia, Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News.
A family tragedy tonight after a deadly high-speed crash on New Year's Eve. 3 people, including a young child, are dead. KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. And Mike, you have new information tonight from police.
Yeah, Juan, unfortunately, they let us know that another victim from this tragedy has died. That was the mother of the 2 young girls. In total, the father, the daughter of that father, which would be the mother of the young girls, and now one of the girls has also died. A 1-year-old remains fighting for their life tonight. And today, LAPD detectives talked about how this was a totally avoidable tragedy, saying the person who caused this crash was just involved in a separate hit-and-run crash from moments prior and left that crash scene at a high rate of speed. We've actually got some video we're going to show you here in a second, and you can hear the speed of that car. Take a listen. That was that white car now crashed in the intersection moments after you saw it going down through that security videos when it slammed into this family of four in the Harvard Park area of South LA. Now today we know that that third victim, the mother, died. What makes us even more sad is the family's not from here. They're from Colombia and they have no relatives in the United States. So the only survivor of this crash is a 1-year-old girl about to turn 2 years old and now has no family in this country. Detectives are trying to reach out to other family members from other parts of the world to see who can take care of this little girl if she's released from the hospital. And I say if, because detectives say she still has a long fight ahead of her. Meanwhile, they talked about the suspect in this case and the charges that he is facing.
This guy's actually looking at murder for what he did, the way he was driving. From all the witness accounts, he's really this is basically murder. You can't drive 2-3 times the speed limit through city streets, running red lights and stop signs just because you feel like it or you're trying to get away from a crime you committed.
Yeah, the detective there called that a totally avoidable crash. Now, an assistant chief, or a deputy chief rather, for LAPD's traffic services also talks about how many crashes have happened in the Los Angeles area and compared them to homicide victims. I'm going to break down those numbers for you coming up tonight on KCAL News at 10 o'clock.
All right, we'll check back, Mike. Thank you. Caught on camera in Compton, a business rammed then ransacked. Dozens of people swarmed the store after a street takeover turned into a break-in. The owner of Ruby's Bakery says more than 100 people rushed into his store, stealing more than $20,000 worth of merchandise. Residents angry about the break-in and ongoing street takeovers are expected at the Compton City Council meeting tonight. We have a reporter there, and we'll have much more for you tonight on KCAL News at 9. Celebrity lawyer Tom Girardi has been found competent to stand trial on charges he embezzled millions of dollars from clients. Girardi is married to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erica Jane. He claims he has Alzheimer's and is unable to assist in his defense. But a federal judge in LA ruled that Girardi is competent and can do so. Girardi is accused of stealing $18 million from his clients. If convicted, the 84-year-old could spend 20 years in prison on each one of those counts. Well, now to new video coming in tonight of a shocking scene. A man armed with a hatchet hit with non-lethal and lethal rounds and still refusing to give up. That's ahead at 8. Also, a fiery disaster caught on camera in Japan. A flight carrying nearly 400 people bursts into flames after colliding with a Coast Guard plane. And names linked to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein could be unsealed any day now. The powerful people that could be named in court documents next at 8.
Juan Fernandez, weeknights, KCAL News.
Now at 8, arrests in a violent purse snatching in a Costco parking lot. Deputies released mugshots tonight of the 2 people they say are responsible. KCAL assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. And Mike, this was a purse snatching and the victim was seriously injured, right?
Yeah, that's right, Juan, because the woman was dragged by the car that the suspects were trying to get away in after they allegedly stole her purse. This happened back in November, and today the LA County Sheriff's Department announcing that they have arrested the 2 people they say were involved in it. We'll show you their mugshots here, and we'll tell you about what happened. Now, this is all in the Costco parking lot. Industry station deputies responded after they got a report of the purse snatching, but apparently after the woman's purse was stolen, she grabbed onto the purse as the suspects were taking off. They were in a car driving away. She was dragged 50 feet, all while the suspects were allegedly punching her in the face, trying to get her to let go of that purse. Ultimately, that woman was sent to the hospital with pretty serious injuries as a result of all of this. Now, I checked with the Sheriff's Department today. They say she was released and is recovering at home. Meanwhile, those 2 suspects have been booked into custody on $500,000 bail. And Juan, tonight, the Sheriff's Department says they're trying to figure out if these 2 are involved in any other types of robbery. The Sheriff's Department Major Crimes Bureau was the one who was able to track these guys down and get them into custody.
All right, Mike, thank you so very much for that. Here now with next weather is meteorologist Olga Ospina. We have rain and snow just hours away. And Olga, I know you were just checking your computer. What do we have going here?
Yeah, checking the latest. You know, it is getting close. San Luis Obispo already starting to see a few drops. And for us, it's going to be in the coming hours, really in the overnight hours. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, it is going to be wet outside. It is going to impact that morning commute as well. Live look outside downtown Los Angeles, a pretty nice night. Hard to believe we have a big storm headed our way. In fact, 2 storms could be impacting us as we head into later in the week also by the weekend. So live look outside at Santa Monica. Yes, we have rain and snow on the way. Also, gusty winds and elevated surf across our beaches. So a lot going on weather-wise. That first storm arriving Wednesday and that next storm arriving by Saturday night, especially Sunday will be the bigger day to feel those impacts. So want to show you that radar. Again, we're still dry, but to our north, Northern California starting to make its way into the central coast. And as we take a look at our future cast, some rain across Ventura County already by 1, 2 in the morning. Snow is going to be a part of the picture also. This is a cold storm with levels starting off at about 5,000 feet. So as we head into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, levels start to drop, and some of those mountain passes, places like the I-5 corridor, could be getting some of those impacts. We could be seeing 1 to 2 inches of snow for those lower elevations. We're looking at some pockets of moderate to heavy rain as well, and chances of thunderstorm activity as we head into tomorrow, bringing us some of those heavy downpours. As we head into the afternoon, we're looking at mostly light to moderate rain, but again, levels for snow start to drop, and we could be looking at some impacts across mountain passes. So winter weather advisory, we have that snow. And we also have those gusty winds, so dangerous driving conditions across all of our mountain areas, and that's going to remain in place through at least Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And along the coastline, we're looking at elevated surf, some dangerous rip currents with a high surf advisory also in place through Thursday night. Let's take a look at rain chances. So the best day for rain as we head into tomorrow, decreasing chances by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So most of your Saturday is going to be dry. However, by late Saturday into Sunday, that's when we're going to see another storm making its way south. However, still a few days away. If it continues to track a little further inland, not going to get as much rain as we will with this next storm, but want to show you exactly what our models are showing us as of now. So our futurecast showing us this is storm number 1 impacting us tomorrow, bringing us rain and snow and the gusty winds. And then as we head into the weekend, here we are Saturday, still dry for us really for most of the day. As we head into late Saturday, early Sunday, that storm starts to drop south, and we could be looking at some wet weather as well. So we'll talk about that 7-day forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Juan.
Olga, thank you. They say mother knows best. Well, one mom is putting that quote to the test on social media by reviewing LA's parks and playgrounds. Next at 8.
2023 was another busy and pricey year in travel. So what's in store this year? I'm Wendy Gillette in Cancun, Mexico with a few predictions.
In tonight's Spectrum One business report, stocks tumbled on 2024's first day of trading as a decline in Apple shares dragged down the market. Well, despite that tumble, the Dow closed up 26 points. The Nasdaq had its worst day since October. It closed down 245 points, and the S&P 500 gave up 27 points. Beloved LA bakery Sweet Lady Jane has abruptly closed all its locations. The company made the announcement on social media saying Sunday was its last day in business. Owners blame California's high rents and new higher minimum wages, saying they didn't want to pass those expenses on to their customers. Sweet Lady Jane had locations in Beverly Hills, Calabasas, Encino, San Fernando, Santa Monica, and also West Hollywood. LA County, meantime, has more than 150 parks, and one mom has made it her mission to review each and every one of them. The reason? Inspiring families to get off the couch and explore the outdoors. KCAL News reporter Tina Patel explains.
I mean, you know, I look to see what the floor is made of because sand is always difficult.
Albertine Vasadani has an active 5-year-old at home, so she's always looking for new parks and playgrounds to take him to. But her son isn't paying attention to the same things she is.
The shade, definitely. How much coverage there is.
It was during the pandemic that Albertine started noticing the difference in parks in different parts of LA. She started sharing her observations online.
Parks were empty during COVID. And so I thought, like, oh, well, this is a great opportunity to take pictures without, children, and at least I'll just post them on Yelp so people can see.
Friends encouraged her to start LA Park Reviews on Instagram. She now has more than 1,000 people following her. But she doesn't consider herself a momfluencer, and she's not trying to make money off her page. She just wants to help other parents who often have the same concerns as her.
Like, I need to know about bathrooms. I need to know about fences. I need to know if there's stuff for my older kids and my younger kids.
Having the account has given Albertine and her family an excuse to explore different parts of Southern California. She knows how lucky we are here to be able to spend time outdoors year-round. But after visiting more than 70 parks across LA, she does have some advice for those who work in the Parks Department.
I mean, I think that they should renovate parks in all areas. There's certainly certain areas where they don't update the parks at all. And then it's like, you know, those people can't have access to these things. So I wish they would do more, which maybe they will in time.
In the meantime, she hopes her social media posts will inspire more parents to take their kids on a trip to the park.
It's great to just take them and go to a free place and bring snacks. They can spend hours there. I mean, yeah, it's wonderful to take advantage of.
In Woodland Hills, Tina Patel, KCAL News.
More and more people seem to be ringing in the new year with the virus.
We are seeing an uptick for sure, but not overwhelmed with them yet.
Incubation periods for the big three viruses and the simple doctor-recommended way to prevent the spread. That's coming up. Also ahead, a SoCal community comes together to keep the doors open at a specialized gym for children. Next at 8.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
Now at 8, new video tonight of the moments LAPD officers shot a man they say was armed with a hatchet. The shooting happened only after officers tried a number of other things. Welcome back to KCAL News at 8, streaming live on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Juan Fernandez. Well, police shot that man after responding to reports of vandalism. KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. And Mike, you worked this shooting when it happened. What does this
Yeah, Juan, the video shows kind of all of the steps that LAPD tried to take before those fatal shots, or I'm sorry, those shots were fired. Ultimately, this man did survive those injuries. Now, it all started when they responded to this man who they said was on a vandalism call. Now, they got there and they determined the man that they had dealt with before may have been having a mental health crisis. I'm going to show you some of the video here, and you'll see that man, in his hand there is that hatchet. He had this hatchet throughout the duration of his interaction with LAPD. Now, LAPD sat there and negotiated with him for a while to try to put it down. Some of the things that he was saying didn't really make a ton of sense. And so that's when this officer approaches his patrol car and gets on the phone with the mental health or the mental evaluation unit to try to see if they can get involved. While he's doing that, the man becomes aggressive, according to LAPD, and starts approaching them with that hatchet in his hand. During this time is when LAPD used less than lethal force to try to stop him. There's the hatchet right there. The LAPD officers had the less lethal beanbag rounds as well as the less lethal 40mm foam projectiles that they were shooting at him. All of them had no effect. Now, we are going to show you the moments that he was shot, but we're going to show you the whole thing, which we don't usually do. But in this case, even the bullets didn't stop this man.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up!
And you can see there, once the lethal force is used, that gunfire, the man still barely goes to the ground, still waving the hatchet around and still refusing to drop it. Now, after a while, he eventually does. The LAPD is able to put him in handcuffs and take him into custody. I want to point out his sweater there. It appears that there may have been something underneath of that sweatshirt that potentially was able to block some of the bullets that were hitting him, as well as those less than lethal projectiles. Now, this is what weapons that LAPD says he had on him: that hatchet, a screwdriver, as well as a 3-inch retractable blade. Now, that man taken to the hospital, where he was eventually released and booked into the LA County Jail on a number of charges, including assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer and resisting arrest. All
right, thanks for the update, Mike. SkyCal over a chase and a crash as an armed robbery suspect bails out and takes off after slamming into a semi in Chatsworth. The suspect scaled a fence and ran through a backyard before being captured. Police tell us the man was wanted for an armed robbery in North Hollywood several days ago. We have new information tonight on the shooting of an 88-year-old woman in Encino. Police say a security company responded to a home on Encino Avenue for a burglary alarm. Investigators say an armed guard fired one shot into the home, hitting the woman. She's still in the hospital tonight. The security company, ACS, confirmed it was one of their employees. They've launched their investigation as well. The guard was taken into custody for questioning. 5 crew members killed on a Japanese Coast Guard plane while on an earthquake relief mission. Their plane collided with a passenger plane carrying nearly 400 people. KCAL News reporter Christian Benavides tonight on why this tragedy could have been worse.
The Japanese Coast Guard plane was preparing to take off to deliver aid to earthquake victims when it collided with a large passenger plane. All 379 aboard the Japan Airlines passenger flight got out safely before the airliner went up in flames on the runway of Tokyo's airport. But 5 of the 6 crew members aboard the Coast Guard plane died.
My perception from the limited information available so far is that the fire began at the moment of the collision between the 2 aircraft and, caused by the forces involved, probably the release of fuel involved at the time.
After Monday's 7.6 magnitude earthquake, rescuers are fighting mudslides, ripped apart roads, and strong aftershocks in hopes of saving anyone who may still be alive. On Tuesday, residents took shelter in an evacuation center. The widespread damage included thousands of buildings, some of which collapsed. While aftershocks continued to spread fear, Japan's nuclear authority said its reactors are all fine after tsunami warnings were called off.
Cristian Benavides, KCAL News.
An explosive find in Santa Cruz County, a bomb on the beach. It apparently washed ashore on New Year's Eve. The sheriff's bomb team was called in, and they determined the bomb was inert and not a threat. It was hauled off the beach, then taken away by a team from Travis Air Force Base. Well, whether it's COVID, RSV, or the flu, case numbers of all 3 viruses are on the rise. KCAL News reporter Michelle Geely tonight with the health recommendation from doctors.
Influenza, RSV, and COVID. An ER doctor in Orange County is seeing all 3 on the 2nd day of the new year. Jim Keeney just started his shift in the emergency department at Providence Mission Hospital in Mission Viejo. It's busy.
When people ask, are you busy? That's a constant yes. So we're as busy as we usually are. I would imagine right after the holidays, usually the first business day after holidays gets even busier. So I expect today to be very busy. But we're not seeing the hordes of people coming in with viral illnesses yet. We are seeing an uptick for sure, but not overwhelmed with them yet.
Holiday mingling can equal the spread of respiratory viruses. Each has its own incubation period, which is the time between exposure and the first symptoms. For influenza, it's 2 days, RSV 4 to 5 days, and COVID 4 to 6 days, but it could be up to 2 weeks.
According to Dr. Keeney, it's time to go to the ER if a patient is having trouble breathing, can't eat or drink, has a significant decrease in urine output, or is so weak that he or she can't get out of bed.
Man, it seems like everyone's sick.
At this same-day clinic in South Orange County, patients were here for bronchitis and laryngitis, as well as coughs and colds.
My mom and dad are sick, and my husband is sick, and my son is sick, and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law is sick. There's something going around.
With so many needing care, getting into the clinic is challenging.
It's just been hard to get an appointment, especially here. You know, my family has been coming here for a long time, and even with extra doctors, like everybody's just booked up.
Dr. Keeney says that people with symptoms should not go out in public to prevent the spread of the illness. But if you must, he recommends that you wear a mask. In Mission Viejo, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
On COVID, among other issues, hurting an Agoura Hills gym designed for kids with special needs. And now the community is rallying behind the owner to keep the place open. Here's KCAL News reporter Joy Benedict with more.
You got it? Okay. It's a place where happy is heard in every zip line and jump. But what you won't hear at We Rock the Spectrum is the noise of video games and electronics that can sometimes, for some kids, drown out the fun.
1, 2, 3.
It's the reason Nevin Barrich brings his 2 sons.
It was our oldest that was having sensory issues at times, sometimes with noise, sometimes with lights like from video games and so forth. So when we brought him here, we saw that this was a type of place that kind of eliminated those distractions.
The gym in Agoura Hills has been owned by Dana Agassi for the last 8 years.
Take out the old.
But right now, she is fighting to keep it open.
I can't. I can't. If I was going to close, it would have definitely been during COVID. I can bring tears to my eyes. Yeah, it's a struggle.
It's hard for this owner to admit that she needs help. She says many of her clients didn't come back after the pandemic. With back rent to pay and a sometimes empty playroom, she is struggling, but she's still hoping to find new members to stay afloat.
Because it's a gym for special needs, they definitely need a place to come, and closing my doors would kill me. This is like my sanctuary.
And now the community is rallying behind her again, reigniting a GoFundMe page, hoping to help her get back in the black as she still owes $55,000 in back rent. But what's most important to the families here is spreading the word that these doors are open to all children.
Just seems to be a right fit for a lot of different type of kids, and I like that. It's kind of an inclusive place where I feel that everybody feels welcome.
And that is the point.
Just seeing the kids coming with their parents into the gym and just running in because they're so excited to be here, nonverbal, verbal, and just the way they are, it just warms my heart.
Learning to play with everyone, being active, being creative, and sharing smiles, so all feel welcome. Joy Benedict, KCAL News.
Well, those wild waves may be gone, but the high tide left some serious trouble behind on a parking lot in Seal Beach.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
Now at 9, a cold winter storm moves in overnight. We're tracking rain that could impact your morning commute. Also, a Compton bakery ransacked after a street takeover. Angry residents confronting their city council tonight, saying enough is enough.
When I see a red light, I'm annoyed.
And do you ever feel like you've hit every red light? Well, a new system could make traffic lights less annoying and better for the planet. Good evening, everyone. I'm Juan Fernandez.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Sa in tonight for Pat Harvey. Well, more rain is on the way. Taking a live look outside from our Mount Wilson and Santa Monica sky cams, we are already seeing some cloud cover as another storm moves in overnight.
KCAL meteorologist Olga Ospina starts us off tonight. Olga.
Yes, and we are just hours away from that rain reaching us here in Southern California. So want to show you exactly where that storm is right now. Still to our north, and as we take a bit of a closer look, we'll see that it has come as close to San Luis Obispo, getting a few light showers. But in the next 2 to 3 hours, that's going to be impacting us. So we'll stop the clock at the 1 a.m. hour. We're starting to see some moderate rain move through Santa Barbara and into Ventura County. That's going to continue to spread east. So LA into Orange County, as well as the Inland Empire, seeing some rain for that morning commute. 6 a.m. and again, pockets still of moderate to heavy rain impacting us. This is a cold storm. Snow also in the picture. In fact, those snow levels will be dropping through the day as low as about 4,000 feet. So that means some of those mountain passes, places like the I-5 corridor, could be impacted by a couple of inches of snow. I'll continue taking you through the day on Wednesday, and then we're going to be talking about another storm that could be impacting us by the weekend. So all those details in a few minutes. Back to you.
Olga, thank you so much. Tonight, anger and frustration after a mob of people in Compton left a bakery empty-handed after a busy New Year's Day.
The mob rammed a car through the door to get inside, and tonight, neighbors took their concerns to City Hall. KCAL News reporter Leslie Maring is live in Compton with the latest for us. Leslie.